What's up, guys? Helldivers 2 is almost 2 years old now, and with it being almost 2 years old, they've added 56 unique weapons in the game. I've seen a ton of videos talk about which weapons are meta and ranking them that way, but nobody's talked about the design of the models, and that bothers me, so today, that's what we're gonna do. This list will be focusing on the primary and secondary guns in the game. As with every video on a topic like this is my opinion, and if you have a different opinion, I would love to read them down in the comment section down below. And with that, hope you enjoy.
For today's video, we'll be using this tier list that I made on TierMaker. Feel free to use it. I compiled this whole list by myself because I didn't find another one on the website. But yeah, this has all 56 weapons.
And we'll go through and rank them from S to D, S being the best and D being the worst. With that being said, let's get started with the first weapon on our list, that being the Liberator.
Honestly, for a starting weapon, I mean, you get what you pay for. This weapon is just all around boring. I really don't like how thick the weapon is up front towards the barrel. It looks like there's a lot of dead space around the barrel, which just doesn't look good at all to me. I also don't really like bullpups in general, like in any game, to be honest. So yeah, this one doesn't do it for me. It's not the worst, it's not the best in this game, so honestly I think I'm going to put this one in C tier. On to the Liberator Penetrator. To be honest, this one fixes a lot of the issues I had with the original Liberator. I like the overall front end design of this one a lot more. There's like a cutout where the other one used to be blocky. This one's like kind of cut off. I think it looks a lot cleaner and sleeker. And to be honest, the bullpup doesn't bother me as much since the gun's longer. I don't know, it just kind of makes it look, I don't know, more streamlined, I guess. And honestly, I really like this design. So I think I'm going to be putting this one in the B tier. The next weapon is the concussive variant of the Liberator. I think this one is a huge step up from both of the previous designs. I like the canister on it. It looks like it's forcing pressurized gas or something to help the bullet have that concussive force. That's like an attention to detail that I really appreciate in the weapons. And we'll see that on a few more weapons later down the line. I also like the drum mag that this one comes with. I mean, you can change it, but I think it looks really good on the Liberator. I put it on all my Liberators anyway. But yeah, honestly, this one is like pretty peak. I think I'm thinking like A tier on this one. My personal favorite weapon in the game. Not by looks, but personal favorite to use. This one kind of is like an AK style rifle. That doesn't bother me. I'm an AR guy in real life. Trying not to let bias get in the way, but honestly, this rifle doesn't really do a whole lot for me. I mean, I like the stock and the grip. I like that there's texture, like it kind of looks like there's wood. But I mean, other than that, honestly, it's just like an AK, like a Helldivers AK. I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't think this one is crazy good looking or crazy bad looking. I think it's probably a C tier design. Yeah, this weapon's not good. I don't know, the camo just doesn't look good on anything, to be honest. I do like the little pouch that's on the side of the rifle. Like, you know, this one came from I think it was the Viper Commandos Warbond. Yeah, like, it's like a survival pouch, like maybe they got like some utility stuff in there or something. I don't know, it's just cool. I like the attention to detail on this one too. But the camo just ruins the gun. And its bullpup, it's the AR-23, you know, Liberator, just a variant of it. The bullpup still doesn't do anything for me. I think this one is our first D tier of the list. It just doesn't look good. Next is the Tenderizer. I think this weapon is pretty reminiscent of like the Halo battle rifle. I don't know if anyone else can see it, but to me this one does kind of stand out against all the other assault rifles. It kind of almost looks like I think it kind of looks like a Marksman rifle, to be honest. The colors are kind of boring. I mean, it's just a matte gray. It doesn't really do, you know, a lot for the eyes, but yeah, it does look good. I think it looks sleek. I think it looks better than, you know, the other bullpups that we've taken a look at. I think it's a B tier design in my eyes. I honestly wish I liked the Adjudicator more than I do. I really don't like this slope that goes down from the scope to the end of the barrel. It honestly kind of looks like almost like what people thought future rifles, like future military rifles would look like back in like the 2000s, I think.
It gives me the same vibes as like the Tenderizer, Marksman, or like long gun type rifle. I do like it. I can't say I like it more than the Tenderizer. I think it's definitely in the same realm, but not as good. If that massive slope wasn't there, I would definitely put it higher than the Tenderizer, but for now I think it's going to be below the Tenderizer in B tier. Honestly, kind of a tough one to rank for me. If this were like a practicality list, this would be like bottom of the barrel, but the bayonet does make it look pretty cool. And the bolt action, I love bolt actions. I think they look so clean. I'm sure a lot of people see this too, but it kind of resembles like a Lee Enfield like from World War II. It's pretty cool when you consider that this is like a really old rifle in the Helldivers universe. The reason I say it's harder for me to rank is because I'm not a huge fan of like older looking rifles. With that being said, I do appreciate that they added this from Helldivers 1, and I do think it does look good for what it is. It does have some really tough competition, so with all my gripes about it, the bayonet does make it look good, the bolt action looks good, like previously mentioned, but to be honest, I think it's definitely better than the Liberators, so maybe like high C, I think is a good placement for this one. I really want to put this one in S tier already. I mean, you can't really go wrong with this one. It's just sleek. The shape, the bullets on the side, it's lever action, it's got a scope from base, it's chrome, which not a whole ton of weapons are like chromed out like that, I don't think. I'm probably completely wrong, but we'll see when we get to them. But yeah, this one, I'm gonna be honest, this is S tier. I don't really know what it is about this one. It's just pleasant to the eye. I know I just talked about not liking like old style military rifles too much, but there's just something about this one. Like they do it right with this one. It looks modern. It looks powerful. Like it's a sniper basically. This and the the Diligence counter sniper. These two are like really the only snipers in the game, and I just love the look of this one. This is just perfect. I mean, this is S tier. S tier material right here. First S tier of the video. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people can agree with me. It's just too sleek not to put in S tier. Speaking of the DCS, we got its little brother, just the normal Diligence. This one's pretty good too. I do like this one a lot. Honestly, I think the only problem with this one is that the counter sniper version of it just does it way better, like this design. It's perfect, honestly. It's perfect all around. I mean, you get the vibe of like a Marksman's rifle. It sucks that it's light pen. I'm probably gonna get flamed for saying that, but I really don't have much to complain about on this one. It's just a good all-around simple, you know, clean design for a gun. I'm thinking this one deserves the A tier for, you know, just being clean. I mean, it's just nice. It's just nice to look at, along with a lot of the, you know, Marksman rifles in this game. But yeah, I mean, it's just good. A tier. This weapon right here is one of the reasons I wanted to make this video in the first place. I can't describe what it is about it that just makes it look so much better than the Actually, I can. It's the stock and the scope and the grip. It adds so much of a sniper feel to the base Diligence and makes it look like what the Diligence could have been. If you use this gun in like bot missions, like from afar, like it really gives you the sniper feel, and it looks the part too. I think this is one of the best looking guns in the game, along with the Deadeye from earlier. To me, it looks like just like the last step in evolution before the AMR, which is pretty cool as it's the Diligence, the counter sniper variant, and then the AMR. This is just another S tier design from the Marksman rifle category, and it's going to be up there with the Deadeye in the S tier. Yet another weapon that I really do want to like, but I don't know, just some aspects of it look too goofy for me to really appreciate. Because the only thing that saves this weapon is the Damascus and the wood like textured grip looks cool on this gun. Also, the one other thing that I really don't like about it is how front-facing the optic is. It just looks kind of goofy being that, like, forward. I guess it does make sense seeing as the magazine of this gun is, like, the entire top of it. It does make the gun look like a P90, like, with that mag. As cool as the P90 is, I don't think that's enough to save this weapon on this list. I do think it does just look pretty goofy all around. I will say this though, it does look like an expensive gun, like if you were to buy it in the Helldivers 2 universe, which makes sense as it came with the Super Citizen bundle. That does deserve props though, as it's very unique compared to every other gun that we've looked at so far. Every time I see this, I, you know, just instantly think that Super Citizen bundle, which is pretty cool, but I don't think it deserves any higher than like a B tier for this list. This is probably the most normal looking gun ever in this game. I really couldn't tell you if that's a diss or a compliment to this one. It is a Killzone 2 collab, which is pretty cool. I've never played Killzone, but honestly, I think if I did, I would appreciate this one a lot more than I do. To me, it just looks like a Bison, like a PP-19 Bison from real life. I will say this, the gun does look like pretty unique in real life, but in this game, there's just too many better designs. And I really don't think it holds a candle to any of them. I think the Knight looks better, but yeah, this one's just kind of boring. I think it's a C tier for this game. If this were like any other game, this is a pretty cool, unique design, but in Helldivers, there's just too many unique and amazing designs for this one to be even close, so yeah, we'll put it in the C tier. I think it's just a problem with the early weapons that they designed for this game, but this and the AR-23 kind of like share the same like boxy front end style that I don't like. And this one has like a side mounted mag, which I don't know if I like or hate it. I think I'm probably leaning more towards not liking it. This boxy design is like truly just a product of like the early design philosophy for Arrowhead. I'm glad they didn't stick to it and kind of evolve their style beyond just this like just boring box style. And they definitely upped their game with, you know, some of the later Warbonds, and we'll definitely see that in the SMG category as well. I don't think there's anything redeeming really about this one, so honestly a D tier is seeming like it's going to be the case for this one. For being one of the first weapons in the game, I'm glad it does deviate from that box. Well, kinda. The stock is kinda boxy. But with this one, there's a few details that I would like to point out. The first one being that there are very, very clearly two different distinct tubes that hold shells in this gun. Each one holds 8, but this gun only holds 8, when it should be holding like 16. I know that's like probably different for like game balancing reasons, but it's just kind of funny to me that, yeah, there's very clearly 2, but it only holds 8. Even with that like funny detail out of the way, this weapon does look like really, really good for a shotgun. Like it looks like powerful. I mean, as a shotgun should. I mean, you definitely feel it in game when you're shooting, you know, bugs or something. It feels nice like to use, and it looks good too. I like the chrome on it. I like that you can see the shells through the tubes, even if, you know, it's the wrong amount. But another thing to add, it does remind me of like the R90 from like Modern Warfare 2019. I don't know if any of y'all played that game, but this shotgun looks very, very, very similar to that one. You know, for a shotgun design, it's not a lot, but it works, and I think it's honestly all the better for it. Simple works, and that's proven. So, to me, this one's an A tier, and I think that's fair. Actually, I lied. I think there's a lot better designs in this game, so we're going to be moving that to a high B for now. For the cookout variant of the SG, I don't think it's a huge step up. One thing I will say that I like a lot more is the muzzle. Like the flame treated, like, you know, discolored muzzle looks pretty cool, but I don't think it's a huge improvement over the normal Punisher design. Yeah, not much to say. I like the color, the orange color like on the underneath of the gun. It does look better. I think this one is an A tier design, but I mean the Punisher was already like a high B tier to me, and this one just like slightly improved on it. It definitely gives you the, you know, the vibe, like, you know, like fire. Yeah, sorry I don't got a lot to say about this one. It is an A tier design, but yeah, just not much to add to it, and enough's already been said with the Punisher, so yeah, A tier. I think this is like another case of like the diligence where every variant of it, like above it, looked just way better than this one. The other two variants of the Breaker just look 10 times better than this base one. I don't like the color. I don't like how giant the gun is. It just doesn't look good as is. The other designs definitely improve on it. It does look like immensely front heavy for a weapon. I personally would like never ever want to like run around with this. I don't know how the Helldivers do it, but yeah. And the stock, it just looks like dinky. Like it just looks too front heavy. Just doesn't look very user friendly. And frankly, for that matter, doesn't look good like doing it either. I don't think this one's like any higher than like top of D tier. And frankly, I think that mainly is just because the other two just do it so much better than this one. This right here is like genuinely one of the biggest glow ups I've ever seen. To be honest, it's like night and day between the Breaker and the Incendiary version of it, which we're taking a look at right now. One of those improvements being the color. And I know you can change the color on almost all the weapons in this game, but I don't think for this list we'll be taking that into consideration. It's just the base, like how you get them out of the box. And this one is perfect out of the box. I really, really, really love the look of the drum magazine on this one. Also, there's a canister of like, I don't know what it is, like fuel or something that helps the shotgun's shells like create that fire, which is another huge detail that I really, really appreciate. And this is what Helldivers like does really well with their guns, is like they almost like explain like the mechanics of the gun like visually in the design, which is really, really stated and underappreciated by a lot of people. And this gun just does it so well, which is kind of crazy considering I just ranked the last one so low, it's just a different version of it. But yeah, this one's awesome, and I think this one's an S tier design as well. It is so unfortunate how uninteresting this design for a crossbow is. I feel like they could have done a lot more. I mean, this game is set like pretty far in the future. Like, you think we would have came up with like a different, like better design for like a mechanism for a crossbow. With that being said, it's honestly not too bad, like considering crossbows look cool as is. For this type of ranking though, I gotta be honest, it doesn't really like compare to like some of the better designs that Arrowhead have put out. And yeah, honestly, it's just a huge disappointment. This gun's awesome to use in-game, but not so much to look at. And for that, I think it's a C tier design. I'm probably going to get a lot of like hate for this one, but I think this is one of the goofiest looking guns that they've ever added. And I think the one thing that really like gives me that idea is that giant like foot-long magazine. But honestly, I kind of like it. I don't think that this is like the worst designed gun in the game. It definitely screams sniper, as it's the only weapon in the game that has heavy penetration. And I mean, it shows. Like, this gun just looks like it'll like cut through a tank. But yeah, I don't think it's the pinnacle of Helldivers design. It definitely is like lovable, but it's not like the most practically or like sleekest weapon I've ever seen. It might be one of the most goofy weapons I've ever seen in a video game, like period. But yeah, I think it's definitely not the worst. It's definitely not the best. I do love this gun. I just gotta be fair and I gotta be realistic. It's not a S tier design, but I think it is a B tier design, and that's where we're gonna put it. They really did just like drop the ball when it came to the Punisher designs, and for the plasma, it's not a different story. I do appreciate the like little touch of like the conducting rods on the side of the weapon instead of like shells, which is pretty cool, but that's the only like thing that really differentiates this one from the base Punisher. And I don't know if I like it more or less than the Cookout. I think I like it more, but I really wish that they like up their game with these designs, because this is not special by any means. But just because it's not special, I don't think that like really like ticks it down from like A tier where the Cookout is. I think it does look better. Like I said, I just really wish that they like made these more distinct between each other. I do like the white color scheme and like the plasma theme. Like, this really matches like the theme of the Scorcher or the Purifier, and I really like those designs, which we'll see later. But yeah, A tier. I don't feel great about it though, but yeah, I can't dock it for that. I really didn't know Killzone had game like that until I saw this weapon. This is a huge improvement over the SMG that they have in the game. I honestly wish that I had played Killzone just to use this weapon. It's that good. Really love the color on this one and the scope. Like, it looks unique compared to every other sniper in the game. One thing this like kind of reminds me of are like these 3 cylinders on the side of the gun kind of remind me of the Wunderwaffe from like Call of Duty Zombies. I don't know if anyone else can see that, but that is very obscure, but I just thought I should point it out because yeah, I thought it was funny. But yeah, this one's honestly a really awesome design for this game, and I'm glad they added it. I didn't get the assault rifle, which we'll talk about later in the weapons that I don't have category, but yeah, this one's an S tier, just like the other Marksman rifles in the game. The Blitzer's one of the most confusing like designs for any weapon that I've seen in this game. I don't know what to make of it. It almost looks like an LMG, but it has the pump action like a shotgun and it acts like a shotgun. I don't know what like they were trying to go for with this one. Definitely one of the most unique designs in the game, and I can't tell if I love it or hate it again with this one. I know I've done that a lot with the other guns, but I really don't know what I think about this one. Just for the uniqueness, I do really appreciate this gun, and honestly, it feels like they just kind of threw like a bunch of ideas like at a wall and just see what stuck, and the Blitzer was born. And I really do like it for that. I just don't know, like in comparison to all the other weapons we've taken a look at, this one is just so weird. I really don't know how to think about it. For now, I'm just gonna put it in B tier, mainly just because I feel like I adore the weapon more than I like genuinely think the design is good. But yeah, B tier for this one. On to the Scythe, and this gun honestly like spawned like the idea for a lot of the designs that came later, like for the energy-based weapons, and I think this one did it really well, like to begin with. It like, you know, you get the point across, like it is an energy weapon. Like, it looks like almost as if it has nothing to do with like regular bullets, which I like. Again, with like the design explaining the mechanics like really obviously. There's like a reflector at the end of the gun. Like, it looks like that's where like the beam gets concentrated from the battery pack on the side. There's wires going into the what would supposedly be a barrel. But yeah, it's just explained really well in the design, like what it does, and I really appreciate it for that too. Like previously mentioned, this weapon did like spawn the entire design philosophy for the energy-based like beam type weapons, and they all just look so distinct from each other even, but you can tell when looking at all of them that they all like, you know, do the same thing. And yeah, this one was the beginning, and I think it's honestly an A tier design. I love it. I just think they really hit the nail on the head with this one. Yeah, A tier. Yet another really well designed energy weapon. Honestly, this one kind of looks like they cut off like the end of the scythe, stuck it on a different frame, added a giant battery pack, and made it shoot like individual beams of energy. And it works. It looks like an assault rifle energy weapon, and I think that's exactly what they were going for, and they nailed it. Arrowhead really nailed down the design for all these energy weapons, and I can't really find anything to complain about with this one. This just looks awesome. One thing, like one little gripe I have with it is that frame at the bottom of the barrel. It looks like kind of obtuse and like pointless. There's just a lot of empty space right there, which, I mean, we all know what I don't like. But yeah, I think that's the only thing that I can really dock it for. I guess it could be like a handrail to like hold the weapons so like you don't burn your hand on the barrel, and I think that's the only reason it might be there. But yeah, this one is better than the scythe, but I don't think it's S tier per se. So yeah, we'll put it in the A tier above the scythe. I really don't know how they improved so much on a design that I already liked a lot, that being the sickle, but somehow, some way, they managed to outdo themselves on the original design again. The one major change from the sickle that they added to this is like the thermal padding around the barrel and the battery and underneath the barrel. Now obviously this is used for thermal conduction, which this weapon, that's a massive component for it. And that's because this weapon utilizes the overheat mechanic, which again is just demonstrated so well in the design of the weapon. This is another example of really conveying how a weapon works just through the design alone. I really like the sickle to begin with, but this double-edged version of it is just a huge improvement overall. With the losing of that empty rail space that I talked about with the sickle, it utilizes a lot more of the gun, and that in my eyes honestly pushes the original sickle into S tier with this version of it. Much more appreciated. I love the detail in this one. Now we move on to the Purifier, and for this one honestly I think it's pretty hard like competition, because the other version of this weapon is the Scorcher, and I think very highly of that one. And this one I kind of feel like it drops the ball a little bit. Now I'm not saying the design is horrible, but it's another case of the diligence where the other version of it just does it so much better. Actually, I shouldn't say the other version. The other plasma type weapon that we have, there's actually two, but the other one being the Scorcher just makes it really hard to appreciate this design as much as, you know, it deserves. With the comparison, like, really not in mind, this is really cool looking for an original design gun for a game. Looking at it in a vacuum, like, it really does sell the whole, like, futuristic military design that I was talking about earlier with a few of the other guns, and this one does it just as good as any of them. One minor nitpick I do have with the design is it kind of looks like there's nowhere to grab, like really the front of the gun, which honestly makes it kind of look uncomfortable. Like that is like honestly the only thing I can find that I really don't like about this gun. But other than that, it is a really nicely designed weapon. For my personal opinion, I don't know if I would put it in A or B. It would have to be low A or high B. And I think my mood could change on it any day of the week. So for right now, I'm going to put it at top of B, but it might change later down the line. Speaking about missed opportunity, this one, I don't know what it is about it. I don't like it. I'm just going to get that right off the bat. It might be the second most goofy looking gun in this game, right behind the, what was it, the Eruptor. But this is trying to be so many different things all in one. And I feel like they made it work, but there's just a few things about it that I just don't like. I'll get the somewhat good things out of the way first. I love the idea of like a minigun in the game, and it very much is giving off that vibe with the barrels at the front. Also, like break action shotguns I really like, and this is that. Like if you switch it to the shotgun mode, it does do that. And that is one of my pain points also, is this stock. I don't know what this like hump that goes from the barrels into the back of the stock, but it does look really goofy when you like really notice it. I really respect the devs for like trying to make this work, because it does, like it really does look like it could work. Besides like the lack of like a magazine, when the Helldiver like reloads it, he kind of just shoves like what seems to be like bullets into the back where it breaks. Yeah, I don't know, that's the only thing that seems like really unrealistic about this. Actually, this weapon just as a whole just looks completely unrealistic, but I don't think that docks it in the design. Like, gotta give them credit, they did make it work with what they had. And for the design, honestly, I'm thinking like low B tier, just because it is so goofy and unrealistic, but you know, it is good for what they did, and I gotta respect that. This one is a really unfortunate case of it is so much better to use than it is to look at. I do like the small detail of like the wrapped barrel and the giant heat vent, you know, in front of the gun, and the canister. The canister looks pretty cool, the one that holds the fuel for it. Other than those like few positives, this one just kind of like gives me like toy vibes. Like it looks like a water gun, or like some water gun you would buy at a store, which is pretty ironic as this is supposed to be a flamethrower. I'm probably the only person that really thinks that plays this game, but I mean, that's just me. It really is so fun to use though, and the flames look great when you are shooting it. So I mean, those are some more positives about it, but that's really not going to be taken into account for this list. But yeah, this one is like C tier design. I wish I don't know what it is what they needed to improve it, but I just wish they did. I can't lie, this one's pretty goofy too. It is the least goofy of like the goofy looking weapons in the game, but this weapon is like massive. It just looks like it will shred through, you know, a whole army of bots or something. But yeah, besides that, I do really like it just for how, you know, absurd it is. Probably the most like ginormously oversized thing is the magazine. Like it looks like it takes up, or like it weighs like 30 pounds just alone. Like the frame of the gun probably weighs like 20. This like magazine weighs 30 by itself, like easy. And the stock is just like, it seems like it's too small. Like you would need like a shoulder mount or something to like carry this gun around. One gripe I do have with it though is the charging handle. This thing sticks out like a sore thumb. Like it is so obtuse and looks like it would get caught on everything, like running through a jungle. Like it would just get caught on anything and everything if it could. But yeah, this weapon it's really hard to rank it because again, it's just so goofy. But to me, it's like bottom, or not bottom, but like middle B tier. Maybe even, yeah, we'll just say B tier for now. On to one of the most, or the second, no, we'll say just one of the most boring guns in the game. This is another one of the starter weapons that you get when you download it. Really is just like generic starter pistol number like 500 million. And I don't love the design, even if it is basic. It just looks like really obtuse too, like heavy, like front heavy. One thing I will say is like the handguard like does look pretty cool. And honestly, I think somebody would have more luck using this as like a melee weapon, like smacking them with the front of it. And I can't give it any higher than D tier. It's just really boring. Again, it is a starter weapon, and I have to give it credit for being free. But, I mean, we're not talking about, you know, the best value guns in the game. We're talking about the best design, and this just doesn't have a great design. Unfortunately, we have another just awful design. The main thing that really irks me about the Redeemer is how, like, long it is from top to bottom. I don't know how anyone would be able to fit this in a holster. You would need, like, a utility belt or, like, a backpack to fit this thing in there. If or when they do add, like, attachments to secondaries, putting a drum mag on this thing would be awesome. It would really make it look a lot better, and it would shorten it. This is probably everyone's like second pistol that they get in the game, and it's just not exciting at all. It almost makes you never want to use a pistol, which in like the meta you really shouldn't be. But yeah, the design is just not good. There's nothing even redeemable about the Redeemer. For that, I'll give it a well-deserved D tier. Man, they really just did not do really good with the pistols, did they? This one is just a huge looking pistol. Again, I don't even know how like the Helldivers fit this in a holster. It is massive. It almost gives me like Desert Eagle vibes with its shape and color, but I don't think that really helps it. It looks way worse, for one. And for two, they got like these weird cutouts on the grip, like these holes. It just looks like it would get dirty really fast, and it doesn't seem like to serve any purpose to the practical or tactical design aspects of it, I guess. For this one, it does look better than the previous two that we just talked about, but not by much. So for now, I'm gonna be putting it in like the bottom of C tier, because yeah, just what a letdown. Alright, two main things with the Bushwhacker. For one, I don't like how rounded the barrel is. I wish it was more angular. But in the same breath, I wish the stock was more rounded. It's kind of confusing. I like the touch of the 3 shells on the side of the weapon, but yeah, that's stock. I don't know. It just looks like it got like it's a missing texture or missing polygons or whatever. It's just bad looking. I don't know why they decided to just make it completely like cut off, like it got chopped off. And for the barrels, this is like the only time I've ever seen like a double barrel like style break action shotgun have a shroud around the barrels. Usually they're just long tubes, which I think I would have liked better. But yeah, there's just a giant like metal cylinder around these ones, and it just doesn't look, I guess, very good at all. And as disappointing as this is the third pistol that'll be in a very, very low tier. Actually, my bad, it'll be the fourth one. And the tier for this one, I think it looks just slightly better than this Verdict, and way better than the two starter pistols, but not good enough to go any higher than C tier, but above the Verdict. Finally, a somewhat awesome design from the pistol category. This one is just all around amazing. I love revolvers. Not only do I like that it's a revolver, but it's also like an energy-based weapon, which means it has a scythe-type barrel and a reflector on the end of the barrel, as you can see, like right there. But yeah, this is an awesome design from the pistols. Finally they have something good to, show for. Not to say too much about the next ones we're going to look at, but this is probably my favorite designed pistol. And for that, it's high A tier. It's not as good as some of the other primaries in the game, but for the pistols, it's definitely my favorite. And yeah, it deserves the A tier. On to the Crisper, and this one is, it's a toss-up for me, because I do like some design elements of it, but some of them are pretty goofy, like the Torture, the primary version of this weapon. For one thing, that trigger is just so long, for whatever reason. I don't know why they had to make the trigger that long, but it's kind of like an eyesore to look at. Other than that one thing, I mean, the colors on this one kind of save it from, being bottom of the barrel. I do like its barrel color. It gives me the same vibes as the Cookout's barrel from earlier, and I do like how it looks on this one too. But it's not a crazy special design to me, so I'm honestly thinking low B tier for this one. It is better than a lot of the pistols, but yeah, not great. The grenade pistol. As much as I really want to believe it, I don't think this weapon is insanely, well designed. It's honestly just a grenade pistol. I really don't think it's this, weapon's fault, though. I mean, there's a flamethrower pistol, they were so much more creative with a bunch of the other designs, and this is just a tube that shoots a grenade. Honestly, looks like it could be stuck on the bottom of an assault rifle and still work as a grenade launcher. I think it's honestly a case of the crossbow, how it's just what it is, and it's honestly sad to see, and I don't know how they could have improved on it. I don't have any pointers or anything really to point out about it. It's just kind of boring, and yeah, I think it's a top of C tier, because it is cool. You get the grenade launcher, whatever. But yeah, not special in the slightest, especially compared to what's coming up next. I look at this and think this is what the grenade pistol should have been. This is a really, really funny design. I think the developers knew what they were doing when they were designing it too. This thing packs the equivalent of a precision airstrike from the destroyer that you come down from in your pocket, and it's awesome. All the explosive force needed to take down an entire Bile Titan, just literally at your side in a holster. This is the peak of the creativity that the developers have put into the weapons in this game. Very, very well deserved of the S tier, in my opinion. For these next few weapons, I don't have them all unlocked, so it's going to be kind of a different view on the top right for, the showcase of the weapons, so yeah, just letting you know. I don't like that I need to rank this weapon, because I feel it's so similar to the original. I almost just kind of want to throw it next to it in the B tier and just call it a day. I would like to point out that there is, different shells, the different colored shells for the slugs, just like an indicator, and that's pretty much the only difference. And this one comes with a scope when you unlock it, which is cool. Yeah, nothing too crazy to differentiate it from the base Punisher, so yeah, we'll just throw it into B tier and leave it at that. Next up, we got the Spray and Pray, which, as I mentioned previously, is a huge step up from the original design. The main thing is the drum mag, and I love that on the Incendiary version of it too. And the color scheme on this one. The color scheme just works a lot better, it matches the shotgun shells, and I really appreciate that. Also, the stock is different from the original too, and it looks more comfortable than the original. The original had a bar and what I assume was a rubber pad, but it did not look comfortable in the slightest. That whole gun just did not look comfortable. But this one, I would think, is a massive improvement. Maybe not as good as the Incendiary, but definitely better than the original. It does suffer from a lot of the same issues with, looking very front heavy, but honestly, that didn't stop me from throwing the Incendiary in S tier when we ranked it. So I think I'll put this one at B tier, and yeah, that seems fair for this one. On to the Scorcher, and this weapon is one of the sole reasons I wanted to make this video in the first place. I was looking at it in the, the first Warbond that you get when you get the game, and I just didn't realize how well it was designed until I just took a closer look at it. This might just be the most iconic slash, recognizable weapons from this game. I think it's the coolest designed, and for what reason, I don't really know. It's just pleasant to look at. I like the little, arc reactor, cylinder things that are on the top of the gun, and it honestly kind of spawned like the idea for like the Epoch and the Loyalist and the Purifier. This weapon was the start of all of those, and yeah, I think it did it the best as well. I think it's also the most expensive weapon in terms of like how many medals you have to spend to get it, and I think it is so worth it because it's really powerful in game too. Which, as I mentioned, isn't this like the purpose of this video, but I just have to say it because it like for being a tier 100, it's just worth it all around for like practical use in game, for how it looks, for how it feels. Yeah, it's the best design weapon in this game, like bar none. While not really a tier 100, it is the most like prestigious weapon in the game. So yeah, we'll be putting it at the top of S tier because that's where it belongs. From the best weapon to the probably the cutest looking weapon in this game. I don't know if that's even like a word you could use to describe this, but it just looks like a tiny scythe. Like it got cut off, like the stock got cut off, half the barrel got cut off, and they made it pocket sized. This weapon looks like a Nerf gun, like that you would find in Walmart or something. Like it's just so like childish and like weird. I don't know, it's just such a weird looking gun. I don't think it's like a bad thing that it's like kind of like toyish, but I don't think it's a great thing for it either. What sucks even more about it is it has to compete with the Talon, the other energy based pistol, and yeah, I mean, there's no competing with that one. That is the best, in my opinion. That's the best looking pistol in this game. Yeah, for just how, you know, funny and, you know, cute looking it is, I think I'm going to put it in C tier. This is a very disappointing variant of a very disappointing gun. I don't think this improved over the original Defender's design in the slightest, really. They added like a foregrip, and I mean, it does make it look a little bit better. There is like a battery pack on the side of the gun, which I think is to, you know, help with the concussive force in some way. It doesn't really make sense how a battery would help with that, but yeah, I don't think this one is like a great design. The SMG Defender was, you know, already pretty bad, and this one's like slightly better, maybe like bottom C tier for this one, but yeah, I couldn't go really any higher with this. I will say this though, I mean, the color kind of adds like a nice texture to the gun, and the grip looks a little bit better too, and I think that's why it should be in C tier. But yeah, I mean, they just really didn't do like great with a lot of the, you know, other variants of already existing guns, which is just kind of sad to see. But yeah, we'll put it in C tier. I don't even really know if this counts as like a gun per se, but I think we're still gonna rank it. If I think the dagger, or if I thought the dagger looked like a Nerf gun, this is a Nerf gun, like just like through and through a Nerf gun. I think I can pull up an image of exactly what I'm talking about. I do like the little decal on it, and I like that it has like almost a plunger shooting mechanism like a Nerf gun behind it. I just don't know where to rank this one. I don't know if it's cool or dumb or funny, or yeah, I just don't know what this one. Right now, I'm just feeling like a C tier. I don't think that's this gun's fault. I just don't think it really is a gun, so I don't think it's fair to, you know, rank it against the others. When I first saw this gun, I honestly don't know why, but I thought it was a variant of the Punisher, and I'm really not sure why I saw that. But this one is like 10 times better than the Punisher. It utilizes the two tubes that I complained about on the original Punisher, like it not having 16 rounds. This one actually does have two tubes for two different types of ammo, which is pretty cool. I really like the color scheme that comes base on this one. It's part of the Truth Enforcer's Warbond, which was just like dripped out to hell, like with every single gun that was in it, except the Loyalist, but yeah, we'll get to that later. Besides like the Breaker Incendiary, I really can't think of a gun that comes close to being, you know, as good as that. This one is like genuinely the second best shotgun, I think, and it's for all the right reasons. I mean, the color scheme, it's sleek, it's cool, it makes sense, like when you consider the two tubes thing. It comes with a scope, which is kind of weird for a shotgun, but I kind of like it. I kind of like how it looks on it. This also reminds me of like the M90A, I think is what it is, from Halo, which is actually in the game in a different Warbond, which is pretty cool, but yeah, I don't know why. I just kind of noticed that while filming. But yeah, this is an A tier design for a gun. I really like the look of this one, and yeah, everything about it's just pretty sleek, so yeah, A tier for this one. Arrowhead really hit the nail on the head when it came to that Truth Enforcer's Warbond, because yeah, this and the Halt are just insanely well designed. This, I think, is much, much better of a design than any other SMG in the game, to be honest. This almost reminds me of like a UMP45, like with the angled mag, and it's kind of like, you know, a higher caliber, harder hitting SMG. And I mean, it makes sense. This one has medium penetration. But yeah, everything about this one, the color scheme, the muzzle looks kind of weird, but I like it mostly. That's the only thing that's like kind of iffy with this one, but yeah, the stock, the mag, the sight looks really, really good on this one. It's just like kind of matches the flow of the gun. Overall, I think this is my favorite SMG in the game, like design wise, because yeah, I don't think anything really comes close to it. The Knight is pretty cool, but yeah, this one just knocks it out of the park, and I think this one's a high A tier design. On to the Loyalist, and I think this one suffers from the exact same problem that the Dagger had, where it just kind of looks like a toy. Now, I remember saying the Dagger looked like a Nerf gun, whereas this one almost looks like a water gun, kinda. I still don't know how I feel about it though, as I don't think it's necessarily a terrible thing that these look like toys, but yeah, I just don't think they look like very cool. This one is better than the Dagger, as it like reminds me of the Scorcher, which is my favorite weapon in the game, and this just looks like a mini-me version of it. I do like what they were going for, like in the design, like it does look like it's related to the plasma weapons like the Purifier and the Scorcher. I just don't think it does it as well, as it just doesn't have very much room to, you know, show that design. With that, I do think it is like still like a low B tier design. I think it's better than the Dagger, but yeah, just not by much. And yeah, I can't hate it too much. It is like a mini Scorcher, so yeah, we'll put it in B tier. Now, I know I said what I said about the Constitution, but I feel like the amendment just is like way, way, way better designed. This one's based off of like an M14 type rifle, and it has a bayonet just like the Constitution, but it's kind of weird where it has a side mag, a side mounted mag. I don't know why I think it works, but it just kind of does. Like, it just looks like it flows well with the overall design of the gun. It also helps that this one has a scope. I think the Constitution might have like genuinely benefited if there was like a scope like this on there. Another thing I really like is like the gold accent on the heat shield on top of the barrel. I think that looks just really, really cool. And again, it just adds like more to the design of the Constitution, because it looks very similar, but it just does it so much better. And again, I know I said I didn't like old style rifles, but yeah, they just really, really made this one look just amazing. And yeah, to me, it's an A tier design. Yeah, I don't know how they did it, but they managed to fix the Constitution and make it look, you know, like this. So yeah, A tier. I'm so sad that this gun is terrible, and honestly probably the worst assault rifle in the game. The reason I'm so disappointed is because this is probably the best designed assault rifle. It really does suck, as I have no intention of like ever using this gun, but it just looks so good. The design is like really reminiscent of like an AR-15, which I previously mentioned when we were talking about the Coyote. I really am a fan of that rifle. But yeah, really like reminiscent of that. The only thing that I really don't like about this rifle is the blue. Like it's almost like navy blue, and I don't know, it just doesn't really look good. If it did come as like a black or like a gray color, I think I would definitely put it higher on the tier list, but you know, as is, it's just kind of jarring with the color on it. I know it's like supposed to be electrical, so like that's the blue, like the lightning color in the game. Yeah, it doesn't look good on this gun, and I wish they would have, you know, changed it. For just the overall shape, it definitely deserves S tier, but because of the color, I kind of want to knock it down to like high A tier. Just yeah, that color just does not do it any justice. I gotta get one thing out of the way before talking about this gun. I've never played a Halo game in my life. I was always a PlayStation user. After watching some gameplay and like seeing the gun used in Halo, I can like definitely say they hit the nail on the head with, you know, one-to-one recreating it from Halo. From what I've seen, when you ADS in Halo, you kind of hold it to your side, and in Helldivers you do that too. Probably the coolest thing about this gun is when you are ADSing, you can see the ammo counter on the back of the gun, where usually it would be in. I'm glad they brought that over, is when you are aiming with this weapon, it looks like you're in Halo. Speaking as somebody who doesn't really have nostalgia for the game, I honestly think this is a B tier design gun. In Helldivers, it looks like it belongs with the rest of the arsenal. Like, it doesn't really stand out to me, anyway. And yeah, I mean, people are probably gonna be mad about this placement, but I feel like B tier is completely fair for this gun. Yeah, just doesn't really stand out. They did a really good job with the Halo crossover, as this one looks one-to-one from the game too. Again, I've never played Halo, but this gun is awesome looking. The only thing that I really want to dock it for is that stock. That stock is like massive. That takes up like a quarter of the gun's length, and it just looks kind of like wonky and out of place. That's the only thing that I really don't like about the gun, but I mean, other than that, I mean, I like, you know, most of the design elements of this one. The big suppressor, the built-in foregrip. The sight looks awesome for this game. I can't tell if that's a Helldivers sight or like a Halo sight, but yeah, it looks really good on the gun. For the SMG category, I think overall this one is pretty high up on the rankings for SMGs. And on the actual tier list itself, I mean, this one's like A tier. It's just a really good design. Now we come to what I believe to be the most uninteresting design from the Halo weapons that they've added. Now, just because I think it's an uninteresting design does not necessarily mean I think it's bad. The reason I think it's uninteresting is because it's honestly the most shotgun-esque looking, I guess, shotgun in the game. And when you look at this in a vacuum, it is pretty cool, but compared to how unique all the other designs for the rest of the shotguns are in this game, I really don't think it holds a candle to any of them. The one cool thing I will say about the shotgun is it is an 8 gauge, which I think pretty much every single other one is 12 gauge, and 8 gauge is massive compared to 12. And that really shows in the gameplay for this one. I think this has the most damage out of any of the other shotguns, and that's pretty cool, but I mean, it doesn't really translate to the design. Like, you don't really get the idea that this is like a hugely powerful shotgun. Like I said, it's not a bad design, it's just hugely uninteresting. And yeah, I know it's from Halo, but I mean, that doesn't really help it in this competition, so yeah, we're going to be putting this one at, like, middle B tier. This is the last of the Halo guns that they added in that Warbond, and I think it might be my favorite. I'm really glad it looks as good as it does, because there's, honestly, the pistols from the base game of Helldivers just do not look, like, interesting or good at all, but this, like, changes that, and it's not even from the game. That's pretty sad for Helldivers, but for Halo, it's a huge win. Pretty much everything about this gun looks awesome. I like the mag, I like the giant slide, what seems to be a compensator but is actually a suppressor on the end of the barrel, and the laser sight. I don't know, it just makes it all comes together in like a really nice shape. The way they implemented it is also just like really one-to-one with the original gun from Halo. Really glad, as all the weapons they've added from it have just all looked exactly like they straight up ripped the assets from the game. It's all for the better, because this is the second best designed pistol in the entire, roster. It is like on par with the Talon, and the Talon, I mean, that one's my favorite, but I gotta give this one its flowers, so I'm gonna be putting it with or close to the Talon in A tier. I'm glad it's not just those two pistols that look good in this game, because this one looks pretty gosh dang good as well. I think the reason I like it so much is because it looks like the Malorian, Johnny Silverhand's pistol from Cyberpunk 2077, and I don't think I'm the only one that sees that, but I really do appreciate it, as this one is just so good looking. It's kind of sad, because until I started like recording for this video, I didn't realize that this was even a gun. I really did kind of like forget about it altogether. As much as I think it looks good, I gotta dock it for two things. One, that sight is like so far back, I don't know how like you're supposed to really look through that. Actually, scratch that, it's definitely possible to look through it. It's just kind of a weird sight placement. The other thing too is that this weapon's bullets are homing, and that is not like portrayed anywhere in the design, which is a huge missed opportunity. Like some laser or some like screen or something would be nice, like, emphasize that this is a weapon that is guided. I think that's the only like two nitpicks that I can really give this gun. I'm really glad the pistols are making a comeback, as they started off pretty terribly, but yeah, they kind of picked it up with, these later designs. And this one is an A tier, below the last two good ones that we looked at, but yeah, still A tier. As I was looking through the list of guns that I had recorded, I did not realize that I forgot to record the Senator. And I'm glad I caught it, because this one is awesome. It is a fairly basic revolver design, but I don't think that stops it from being like one of the better designed pistols. One thing I do have to like kind of dock it for, actually two things. The grip looks fairly uncomfortable to hold, like it's a little bit short and like giant, like massive. It just doesn't look like it would be like a very handily gun. And the other thing is these iron sights. Like what were they thinking when they were designing this? This is not what you could call an iron sight. These are two square cutouts that just look really bad, and they really bring down the gun for me. I guess a term I could use to describe this weapon as a whole is just user unfriendly. Like, you can't hold it right, you can't aim, but I mean, it looks like scary. Like, I would not want to be shot with this thing. Actually, I wouldn't want to be shot at all, but definitely not by this thing. I do still really like it though. Like, it's definitely a good looking gun, like just, as a base, and I gotta respect that. And in my eyes, this one definitely belongs in the B tier. We come to an end of this list, as this is the final gun left to rank, and this is the only gun that I do not have any footage for, as it's not in the game anymore, and I wasn't able to pick it up when it was out. This is the third and final weapon that they added for the Killzone 2 collab, and I think it's probably I don't know. It's better looking than the SMG, but not as good as the Accelerator, like, sniper rifle. As far as comparing it to the other assault rifles and the other weapons in the game, it's pretty cool looking. Like, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of detail that they, put into this model when porting it over from Killzone 2. Actually, I don't know if they ported it over, but it definitely has a huge amount of details. Like there are so many like, you know, screws and like edges and everything that you can see in the model. The most interesting aspect of this gun is the magazine. Like I can't tell like what it is because it's cylindrical and it kind of looks like a battery. I'm not sure if this gun shoots bullets or like energy or something. I've never used it in Helldivers or in Killzone, but if it does shoot bullets, I really commend them for making that work because it just doesn't look like it would be able to. As a whole, I don't really find this to be all too like great of a design, but it's not like terrible either. It's very run-of-the-mill, like futuristic style like rifle, I guess, and it doesn't catch, or nothing about it catches my eyes in any sort of way. So yeah, I'm thinking like a C tier for this final weapon on this list. And that's the list. That's all 57 weapons. I think I got them all, and I'm fairly certain that I was able to, you know, count every single one. If I did miss one, let me know. I'm gonna be really upset if I did miss one, but I'm like 99% sure that I didn't. I really do love all these designs. Like they are all very, very cool in their own ways. I mean, some of them aren't, but yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. But yeah, the story of the idea for this video is just one day I was looking at the, you know, Warbonds and I saw the Scorcher and I was like, I wonder if anyone has made a video on the designs of the weapons in this game, and I looked for it and I just didn't really find one. I'm sure somebody's done it, but I haven't seen it, and I just got the idea to make this video. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed, and if you stayed this far, you're a real one. Sorry for the changes in my voice throughout the video. It's like kind of jarring going from like one scene to another because it took me quite a while to record this, and each voiceover was done on a different day, so like yeah, it does sound different, but yeah, I'm sorry for that. I really hope, you know, people watch this video because I put a lot of effort into it, and it's taken me like like 3 weeks to make it and record everything, and yeah, I'm pretty proud of this. So yeah, if you really enjoyed, you know, leave a like, subscribe, and I will definitely try to make more videos in the future of other ranking videos or gameplay video or whatever. I'm just not sure yet, but I hope this video does well. And yeah, with that, thank you for watching, and yeah, peace.